So that's that. These were cut off of a side of a tooth, make it flat, I guess. I didn't do it, but I ended up with it. So that's what we're going to use. What's nice about these pieces is that they represent what a natural tooth would look like without ever having been sanded or worked on. They've got ridges and things like that need to be, if you're going to do scrimshaw on it, those ridges have to be sanded smooth so the ink doesn't stick in there. I use this, it's a magazine that I've rolled up really tight and then taped up so it wouldn't come apart. But then you use that as a form to roll your sandpaper on, and what it basically gives you is a sanding rasp sort of a affair, but it's got a soft surface to it, so it'll go around contours without like leaving facets and flat spots on it. So I use the 150 as a fairly coarse rasp to plane down these ridges. If I don't, the ink will stick in the ridges where I don't want it and obscure the picture.
So the reason you have to sand it is because otherwise nothing you scratch on it will show up.
Right, because the background will be like all black. So now I'm on 220. I was going across the grain. These have grain similar to wood, much finer and harder. But I was technically grinding across the grain, which is something that you never want to do with wood. You really shouldn't, unless you are wanting to remove a lot of material fast, and which I was. So now I'm making up for it by going with the grain with the 220. You look at right angles, you can see the reflection, and it'll show you your scratches. Lastly, I've got some 400 grit. I'm going to do the same with the grain sanding. All right, so I've steel rolled it with the 4/0 steel wool, and it seems to me that all the scratches are gone. It's a nice little piece of ivory. So what I like to do is paint the surface with some India ink.
Where might somebody get India ink?
I'm pretty sure you should certainly be able to get it at an art supply. I don't do a lot of colored Scrimshaw. Most of the Scrimshaw that I've seen, the antiques and so forth, most red most color you'll see in them is red, depicting, say, a wounded whale or something like that, and they used red sealing wax to fill the scratches with to get that red color. The black, what they used a lot of times on the ships and so forth to get the black is to take a candle or maybe even an oil lamp. I haven't tried it with an oil lamp, but it probably would work. But at least you take a candle and you hold a plate or something like that over the flame, and it carbons up pretty quick, turn it real black. That makes a really good pigment to put in. This is all painted now, and it's dry, I think. Yep, you're drawing on it with a black pencil, but it's not really black. Graphite comes up kind of silver when you put it on a black surface, and you have to hold it in a certain way and to be able to see it. But and the camera might not pick it up at all. So I'm going to do a whale. And how shall we do it? Something tells me I like this way best. The first thing to do is the outline.
I don't think the camera can see anything.
What? I kind of figured. So
Trust us.
believe me. Yeah.
That is the most amazing whale I have ever seen.
It just makes it all the more magic.
And the reason that you make it all black first is so that then when you're scratching, you can see what you've scratched.
That's right. All right. So to start this, I'm going to use this Scribe because they have some fairly straight, long, or not straight, but long, even runs.
That's a little flipper thingy.
Little teeth. They're a toothed whale. All right, so that's the basic outline, and now it's kind of like, oh, the fun can begin of cross hatching and filling it in. My cramping fingers told me it would be smart to glue this down. I'm using they call Type Bond 2. It's a type of wood glue. These sort of glues work well with ivory because they stay fairly plastic. You know, they move a little bit with the piece. This is a temporary fix here. I'm gonna as soon as I'm done scratching on this, I'm gonna pop it off of the board with a very thin blade. Now that this is relatively secured on the board, it should stay. If it doesn't, oh well. I'm gonna start filling in, and I'm gonna start with the flukes in the back, the tail. That's the sound I want to hear. So I'm starting at the outline. Scratching in towards the center, but not all the way across. So that's from one side, and then I go from the other side and meet in the middle. What I'm trying not to do is scratch outside the lines. All right. So the flukes are this is just like the first phase of coloring it in. The tail is kind of a ripply, bumpy affair, so I'm going to just kind of do a lot of lines down the length of it that will have a bunch of motion to it. Got the tail section has got that ripply effect going on there, and then I'm going to do some okay, this is pretty much the first direction. This will give it an overall grayish appearance. Now we'll do the cross hatching. Yeah, this is shading it and giving it some the illusion of roundness. Darkens it up. I mean, you want it pretty much black. What's neat about Scrimshaw, the actual part of it, you don't have to use ivory. I mean, of course, traditionally the whale's teeth and walrus tusks and things like that we used. I do use bone and all kinds of things. So I'm gonna make sure that this line is bold enough to come through my shadings. It's a great part of the mouth. This makes me look like they're smiling even when they're not.
You doing the eye right now?
I am doing the eye.
And what's that tool?
This is my triangular scribe, and just by spinning it, it'll drill a hole. So let's see what we got. Need to rub the ink in to make sure it gets into all the little groovy grooves. So let that dry for a second. Return to the 4/0 steel wool. That's 4 zeros. Whoa. Together. I think I'll probably pop it off the board here. I like these old butter knives because they're so thin a blade, especially for something like this where you can get under there and just kind of gently separate it. Now I can clean up the edges better. So that's that. Now you can polish it a little bit more with I use a piece of deer skin with polishing compound on it, and it's very fine abrasive, and it just shines it up nice. And when you polish it up good, I don't like them shiny like glass, but polished up like this is pretty nice, and they stay cleaner in the handling. But that's it. Shave and haircut.